Everyone, it's Jake. I'm going to be teaching you how to make an animated neon sign in Photoshop. If you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Newgrounds, you've probably already seen the Java casting I did. So I'm going to be teaching you how to do something similar in that style. So we're going to start a Photoshop. We're going to make a new file, and we're going to just call this one neon sign or whatever. I'm setting it to 180 by 720, and we're going to place our background. So we go to place, and I'm going to be using this brick wall texture I got on Google Images. I'm going to go up to this link icon to maintain aspect ratio, and I'm going to change the width and height to make the image ever so slightly bigger than the canvas. Now, what I like to do is I like to make it go grayscale, and to do that, we're going to have to rasterize the layer. So it's not a smart object. So we go to rasterize, and then smart object, and then we're going to desaturate it. So we go to image, adjustments, desaturate, or shift control U, and you can see that it's all in grayscale. And if you want to change the highlights and shadows, you can press control L. This brings up your levels, and you can change it to be darker or lighter. I like making it darker just so the neon sign pops out a lot more. So that's a good. Next, we're going to go to our text, and then we're just going to make a new text layer. And I'm going to be using neon sign fonts, and I'll leave a link to these in the description. So we're going to be using this neon one, and that's going to be our big text. And we're going to have to say tutorial. And we're going to make it a bit bigger, so we're just going to resize this and, make it centered and just change the height so it's a bit taller. Next, we're going to make another text layer, and we're going to use a more cursive font. So I'm going to be using this Linoleum script font, and I'm going to have to say Photoshop. We're going to resize this, and I'm going to put this near the top left corner of the tutorial, and I'm going to tilt it just so, squishing it down, and then I'm going to hold control and just kind of like, slant it like that. Next you can do is you can make an underline, and by doing that we can just go to our shape tool, and we just press our line tool over here, and then we have the fill to white, our stroke to white, and we're just going to make our underline. I put the shapes underneath the text, and I'm going to make another shape. And what you could do is you could do an ellipse or circle. To do a circle, you just hold down Shift, and that just keeps the width and the height the same. Of course, you're going to have to change the fill to transparent just to get the outline. But the shape I like to use all the time is a triangle. So I just go over here to polygon tool, set the sides to 3, set the fill to transparent again, and then I make my triangle. Great. Now we can change the size of this. There you go. You got your triangle. And if you want an inner shape, all you have to do is simply duplicate layer, and then we go back to this, and then we just scale it down, and we center it just like that. And then we have our inner triangle, and then what you'll notice is that you can't really tell the text from the shape, and it kind of covers each other up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our select tool, our rectangle select, and we're going to mask the shapes here, and then we're just going to select the part we want to take out, press delete, and there you go. And then you just do this wherever the shape and the text just intersect. So once you've done that, you'll notice that it's much better. The next thing to do is you can apply a glow to your text and shapes. So for this, I'm going to go to the Photoshop here. I'm going to right click it, go to blending options, and then I'm going to select inner glow. We're going to set the blend mode to normal, and for the smaller text, I have a thing where I just like making it pink. So I'm going to make it a light pink. I like using the lighter colors just because it doesn't contrast so much with the white, but you can still understand that it's that color. So it gives it a nice effect there. And we're gonna shrink down the size a bit. I'm gonna zoom in with Control plus, and we're gonna change it so the stroke and the range kind of gives it a bit more of an outline and less of a blur. So once you've done that, you can go over to Outer Glow. We're going to copy and paste our color code over here. Then we're going to keep the blend mode at screen. And we're going to change the glow so it's, it's still visible, but we want it ever so slightly around the words and not too far outwards. So once you've done that, you can go over to drop shadow, and you can do one or two things. You can just have a basic shadow, so the shadow drops onto the texture or the background you have, or you can have it so the light reflects off of the background. And to do that, we'll go and change the blend mode to color dodge, paste our color code once again, and then we're gonna make the size and the spread. We're just gonna raise that so you get this nice sort of illumination on the background. Once you're done with that, you can just copy layer style and just paste on the other layers to make it just to save you from the work of doing it. And we're just going to change the colors of the other text and shapes. And if you have a bigger shape, you can change it so the size of everything is bigger just to make it appropriate for its size. So once you're done with that and choosing the right colors to what you want, you can You can apply a brightness and contrast, because what you'll notice is it gets a bit too bright and you can't really read what it says. So you can just change it to make it a bit more legible. With the brick wall, you can convert it to a smart object. Go to a filter, and then you go to render, lighting effects, and this will create a central lighting that you can raise or lower the intensity to, and it gives it a bit of a vignette, but applies like a central light to your neon sign. So I'm going to have it at 15, 20 actually. And there you have it, that's your neon sign, and you can export it, save as to a PNG, and then you can be done with that. Or if you'd like to animate it and export it to a GIF, you can go over down here to create frame animation, and you can apply some frames. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to give each part of the neon sign an on and off effect, and what we'll be doing is we're just going to go to blending options, and then we're going to go to color overlay, and we're going to get our color code from the glow effects, and then we're going to paste it, and then we're going to slide it right here down to where it's almost black but not quite. And it helps if you make the glows of your image invisible. You don't want it to be completely black, but you don't want it to be too bright either. And then you just do the same to the rest. So once you've done that, you'll get something that looks a little like this. And I do it to all the parts, just in case you wanted to have the neon sign be completely off. Next, you're going to make duplicates of your background. I'm going to be doing 4, and you just make the ones that you want on that frame visible, and then we'll leave the rest to be invisible. And you go over to this part underneath Smart Filters on Lighting Effects, double click that, and then you can lower your intensity. So I'm going to lower it to 10. Click OK, and then you got this part where the neon sign is completely off. Then you want to make a new frame. I set my frames to be 0.2. You can change it to whatever, just depends on the speed of your animation. So use your own judgment. On the next frame, you make the layer above that that background that you just changed the light on. And then you're going to go back to Smart Filters, and we're going to change it from 10 to 13. I'm going to bring it up by 3. Like I said, you can change it to however you want, use your own judgment, etc. And we're going to have it where one light turns on. So I'm going to have the Photoshop part turn on, and I'm going to have like the outer triangle too. So you can kind of see how it's turning out, and then you do the same process throughout the animation. when you're done with your animation, it should look something like this. If you want it to loop, you go down here and change from once to forever. I'd probably just, have the last frame extend to like, I don't know, 5 or like a second, like 0.5 or a second. So it just stays on a bit longer. We could also do is if you're having the two shapes, you can create some new frames afterwards, and then you can have them alternate. Turn off one of the shapes on one frame, and then you change the lighting. If it's the outer shape, I keep the lighting the same. Then on the other frame, you do it to the other shape, like that, and then you can change the background. That's a bit darker, so the light changes with the alternation. And then you'd after that you just put like, I don't know, 3 extra frames, depends on what you want, and then you just drag and shuffle these frames. And there you go, you just got your animation, and it should look something like this. If you want to export this as a GIF, you go to File, Save for Web, and then you click Save, and then you just name it to whatever you want. You save it, and there you go. So that's it for this video. I hope it helped you out in some way. If it did, please consider liking and subscribing. If you need more clarification on what to do, or you have some criticism about the video, feel free to leave it in the comment down below. I'll be sure to read it. If you don't have Photoshop, a computer, or whatever, I am doing commissions for these neon signs. Here's the commission sheet. Feel free to direct message me on either Discord, Newgrounds, Instagram, Twitter, or comment down below. I'll give you my email, and we can discuss the prices and details like that. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I hope this helps someone out in some way, and I'll see you all in the next video, I guess.